Welcome everybody to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. We are in season 2, so we've got through one episode and a lot of special guest episodes. But tonight's episode is Hollywood rituals. So I'm excited to get into that with y'all. But before we do, like always, we'll go ahead and say hello to everyone who joined us on the panel tonight. Remember, anyone is welcome to join. Just look in the description of this video. You'll see Discord. I'll share it in a little bit as well. And you can join and kind of share your pieces of the puzzle with the fellowship. If not, subscriptions, likes, shares, all those type of things really helps the channel grow. And we're inching past 1,100, and we'll eventually get to that next 2,000 where we'll give away something else. But without further ado, let's go ahead and say welcome, and we'll get into it. So up first is Marsha. Welcome, sister.
Hello, everyone. Glad to see you. Glad to see all of you on the panel.
Indeed. Yeah,
Not so sure I like the subject. Hollywood rituals and spells.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark subject, but we have some scripture to kind of tie it up at the end of the episode. So stay for that. But yeah, let's jump over to Robert. Welcome, brother.
Hello. Glad to be here. Yeah, that Hollyweird, Marsha, that stuff there. I mean, I can't watch anything anymore.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, and it's we're gonna kind of talk about that too, about the kind of spells that they try to cast on the people with their entertainment, not only are they doing it within their dark mansions, but they're also doing it on the the silver screen right in front of millions of people. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. What's up, brother Kyle? Welcome, brother.
Shalom, it's good to be here, man. I think this is kind of an important topic to discuss. Everyone seems to have celebrity idols that they worship these days. I think it would behoove them to know what they did and who they did it with, the dark and secret acts that they do in close quarters by themselves and with their other parties that the world doesn't seem to ever speak about. So tonight we'll be discussing that.
Yep, and again, tying it up with scripture, right? Because we are, most of us here are a Torah observant, and most people that watch it are. And even if you're not, right, you're still in some way keeping those. But point being is, we're coming here to talk about these things, but at the same time, right, we know who gets victory. We know all the things that these people are doing. It can only be accomplished within the Father's will if they're being used as vassals unto destruction. So that being said, I'm excited about it. We'll jump over to Frankie B. Welcome, brother.
What's up, everybody? Let's go. Hollywood nightmares coming at you, baby. You got a ton of them, too.
Yes, they sure do. Sweet. All right. So little housekeeping real quick, and then we will get into it. Let's go ahead and share screen. It's gonna jump me out. That's okay.
We might need to drop the volume a little bit. The looks like they're saying sound check on the guest mics are a little loud.
Okay, let me adjust that. All guests are super loud. Okay,
Oh.
I turned them down. Hopefully that's good. And we'll see here in just a minute. I think it's good now, but we'll check in just a minute. And let's go ahead and pull this up. We'll get to that at the end. Let's put this down real quick. Grab this. There we go. So those on the panel, just click the thing if you'd like to watch it, or you can watch it on YouTube. Yeah, so first off, shout out to Take on the World. Chris and Liz Bailey have this YouTube channel where they allow other people to join the community and share their puzzle pieces like we do with their family. So we always want to let them know that we appreciate the chance to do that and to share ours with them and their family. So thank you very much. And as always, we like to watch we like to read the comments off from the last video. If you didn't check it out, this was before the KIC virtual conference. So about 2 weeks ago, we had Jeff and Miranda Brannon from The Way Remnant on to talk about his book, The Priestly Garments, Who We Are in Christ. It was a great conversation. So thank you for coming, Jeff and Miranda. Hope y'all are well. We did get 2 on the Take on the World side. Moonglow said thank you. We really do appreciate your support. And beautiful interview. The book is in my car. Awesome. Yeah, go. That we got to support. Our community, the people that go out of their way to make content, and so definitely check out their book if you haven't. He has other books as well. And you can go to The Way Remnant, click on this and on the video, and it'll take you there. And of course, we have Circle of the Earth Fellowship. That's our YouTube channel. We're hovering around that 1,100 mark. So any support would be greatly appreciated. Let's go ahead and do this. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. There we go. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And then over on our side, we'll go ahead and read the comments that were posted over there. Thank you for the 19 people who liked it. Again, that does help the channel grow. And then we got Robert saying, what happened to Dig Deep at then? How you dare you? Yeah, last week was, or not last week, but this stream, it was really weird because my streaming software froze. So all I could literally do was exit out of it to end the stream. So I couldn't change anything, or it was weird. But anyways, just to finish it out real quick, over on
Soundbite from Robert. How dare you?
Over on Discord, we have
you do it.
Yeah, do it at any time.
That's
Robert.
Baker's favorite thing.
My timing. My timing.
You just got to be ready.
You gotta be ready.
How dare you?
It was. It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So check out Discord. There's a link in the description as well. And then that's to join the after show, to join the community over there. We share other content creators. We share memes and stories and videos. And we have the after shows in this panel. So if you're interested, check that out. If you'd like to support the channel other than your subscription and likes and shares, we do have some merchandise. If you'd like, we have shirts, we have hats, sweaters, sweatshirts. hoodies, stickers, all that. If you'd like to support, that's the best way to do it because you get something for your donation. And then we like Bible Hub. I like Bible Hub. I like Bible Gateway. Great resources, as well as sacredtext.net. It's really annoying that I have to do this when I show all these. The Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilees are great, what are so-called epigraphals, so definitely check them out. And we'll get to these, the rest of that later. So I'm going to stop streaming. I'm going to bring this back up full screen for everyone. And yeah, let's get into it. So basically what we're talking about, if you haven't seen, is Hollywood, and we kind of talked about it as we introduced everyone, and everyone sent some links that we're going to share. We're going to watch some videos, we're going to read some articles, and look through some various stuff. And you know, but let's go ahead and kind of start it off. So we all know of, you know, a lot of us are familiar with different aspects of the occult. And many of us, as we've been finding these pieces of the puzzle along the way of our truth-seeking journey, have come to see the darkness that is Hollywood. We've made the connections where, you know, let's do a little quiz. What type of wood are witches' wands made from?
Ooh.
Say it, everyone say it.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Right? So, you know, and they definitely make wizards and witches over there. And not only do they, you know, have these dark rituals in their dark mansions and some very dark, you know, dark stuff, guys. Some very, you know, stuff that's not the funnest stuff to talk about. That is very prevalent within Hollywood. And it's such a deep topic, guys, that it's spells upon spells upon spells. And so we're going to talk about those various parts of it. But before we get into all the links and everything that everyone sent, I'd love for y'all to kind of give y'all, you know, a bite size, you know, kind of introduction where you're coming from with this topic. If you'd like to start out,
spell, is it? It's not going to be a spell, is it?
No.
You're not going to put a spell on us, are you? Right?
No.
Just kick it off. What? Did you ask me to do something?
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying, what are your thoughts about this topic?
Well, it's a dark topic, but I know that the propaganda's been going on forever. In fact, even going back to mine, which I should have sent you a link to, is back to my youth. I mean, when we first had a TV in our house, and they'd sign off, you know, and they had subliminal messaging going on. And I didn't find that out till I was, you know, lots older. Mm-hmm. They've been propagandizing and spelling us forever. Forever.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Robert?
Yeah, Marsha, I didn't have my They Live sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Back then either. So, you know, all this stuff, you know, like hindsight 2020. You know, I used to love all these different things, and I think my first taste was when I saw the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation. They were on a talk show, and they start talking about stuff, and they're like, you know, they're not in character. They're talking about their stuff that they like to do and stuff. And it's like, I don't think I want to watch these guys no more.
Yeah. That's really interesting. And you know, kind of talking about Hollywood, there's this movie called Galaxy Quest, right? And if you've seen it, right, there's in Galaxy Quest, it's like a Star Trek kind of spoof, but aliens come, and those aliens, interestingly enough, they're like, do you have any, on your world, actors, people who like pretend to do, you're like, what, you're talking about lying, right? And so they even call it movie magic. Now they've lost some of that with digital video. What they used to actually do with, movie magic, what they could do with film, and how they could literally cut it and rearrange it, and do some really interesting things where, even after they had the film itself, they could modify the film and create effects. So, and we've come a long way from, black and white photography, with just literally photo to where we put those on films and where it's developed now. And, with that, the scales kind of fall off your eyes once you see these things, right? You were saying a little bit earlier before we started, it's hard to watch some of these things because you're no longer in that trance watching it, right?
Exactly.
You are seeing the ideas and spells that they're casting, per se, and you're like, wait, I don't want that spell. I don't believe that. I don't, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting, that dynamic, that you before the scales fell off and you after the scales fall off, and how the difference of how you perceive things. It's pretty interesting. Well, what are your thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, that was pretty well said. Always, as a kid, I was seduced by the concept of magic and being able to manipulate, others and your surroundings by the use of nature and other unseen forces.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Being able to conjure power, and that's, I guess, the scary part of it. But I didn't know how prevalent it was in every single thing that I did, from what I was taught in school to how I was taught it with the language being used, movies and games. It's like every character you pick for a game is it like a wizard or something like that. All the movies, the Gnosticism, like in Star Wars, or Harry Potter, the obvious occult themes in Harry Potter. These are so common in at least in my era, my generation, that it seems so normal that everyone was seduced by it. And after coming to Yahweh and realizing what sorcery and witchcraft were, and seeing that there's no good fruit in it, that it's all darkness, really changed my perspective on it.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and those, like I was kind of saying before, those scales fall off, and you see it in a whole new light. For me, there is no more. I would say now. It used to be, 99% entertainment, 1% gleaning truth, and I feel like now it's almost opposite. It's like 99% gleaming truth and 1%, because the once those scales fall off, like I said before, you see those spells being cast towards you. You see, like, it's a whole different experience, again, from that pre-scale to post-scale. And so it's for some people, they're like, I don't want anything to do with it, and I totally understand that. I like personally to look at the kind of the trends that they're kind of setting up, because we've seen this before in their rituals, like, let's say, on mainstream news, right, where they kind of get you ready for it subliminally, and then they kind of bring it out. And I think that's a good segue, Marsha. We'll talk about that here shortly, of how they kind of present to us something that they want to happen. But before we jump there, we'll go over to Frankie B. Give us your thoughts, brother.
Every time you say spell, I think of the song "You Put a Spell on Me."
Oh, I remember that song.
Yeah, but everything at magic, spells, we our language, our spelling, it's actually casting spells over you. So, and all Hollywood does is talk. So they're constantly casting spells through their words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's storytelling, and those tales have a
Tails.
spell that the whole premise of those story is for that spell to be accepted, to be willingly accepted.
And the sheep do. They listen to their master.
We sure did, right? Like all of us
That's
I,
can sit here and
yeah.
say
yep.
we fell for the
We
spell.
followed along.
We
We
Yep.
follow.
followed the Pied Piper. We followed the Pied
You
Piper.
took the words right out of my mouth. That's literally what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. And we're off that trail now, right? And so there's many aspects that we can kind of looking back and retrospectively see about that, our post scale or
Yeah.
pre-scale
Well,
per.
now we
So
listen to the Good Shepherd.
yep.
We hear his voice. We follow him.
Yep. So, all right, let's. I'm gonna share my screen again, guy. Those that are on the panel, you'll want to accept this because this is gonna be the books and video. Sorry, the videos and other things that we're gonna be watching that everyone shared. Which one is that? Is it just not up? I gotta bring it up. Bear with me. Okay, now let's share it. Share screen. We want. There we go.
Steve and Vader, it goes to nothing. You're putting a spell.
Ooh. All right. Pull this up for everyone. We'll get it playing. So where we're gonna start off with, this is what Marsha shared. And let's remember the commentary, how we're gonna talk about this subject, right? Just so we don't get flagged and the video removed. But this is the Olympic opening ceremony in 2012, and has a little predictive programming. And this is though it's not straight from Hollywood. This technique, this idea, this presentation of a story is exactly the same.
What they do. Yep.
It's the same thing. So let's check this out, and we'll kind of stop it along the way and talk about it, and we'll go from there.
Didn't look at the whole thing.
Oop, what's going on? There. Oh, it's giving me some issues. Let's see what it's saying. Okay, let's see if that's better. It's kind of being slow on me.
I hope it's going to be okay. I didn't actually view the whole thing.
It's okay.
It's only 4 minutes, but it'll give you the idea.
I just hope it's not supposed to. Okay, there it goes. Predictive programming at the 2012 London Olympics opening ceremony.
Ooh, scary.
Look how scary that computer generated image is. Oh, look, it's like they have the same thing.
They have the virus there too. Yep.
Ooh, computer generated image. Ooh.
Yeah.
I will say that's interesting. It's kind of a stretch because I don't see the little thingies.
You didn't in there?
No, I think they overlaid that picture on top of it.
Oh, okay.
But still, like, I get where they're kind of saying where they did it.
Right. Yeah, but this they didn't overlay. I mean, what they actually did.
Yeah, here, let's jump a little bit. Because it keeps coming back to these same pictures. But
I know.
yeah, so they had the dancing nurses. They had the,
I'm sorry.
Oops. It's so weird that it's buffering like that. I
The
wonder if
dancing
it may
nurses,
just be, and this is the learning experience, it may be that I need to open these up one at a time instead of pre-opening them all. But let's continue.
Now that's an evil creature over a little kid in a hospital bed. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Oh,
dancing nurse.
dancing
Yep.
nurses.
Wow.
Oh, how much of that did we see?
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
What's
I'm
the
sorry.
quality
I
of
didn't
that?
check the whole thing out, but actually,
it's on
if-
auto. It should just be whatever the best is. But I think it
Yeah.
may be that I just have a whole bunch of tabs open. But yeah, like
It's okay.
they literally do this over and over and over, guys. Like we've seen. So they have the dancing nurses, they have, you know, the symbols, they have the boogeyman, they have all the children in the beds, you know, and so I think that's, you know, even though they do these dark rituals and they get their, you know, kind of, let's call limelight of, and their trend, you know, becomes popular. At
Look.
this, yep.
Oh, well, wait a minute, Vader.
Yeah,
Why would they have this as an opening ceremony?
for the Olympics.
Seriously,
Yeah.
why? Why would they have hospital beds and little kids in them, and then that creepy thing? And it makes no sense. So that was
Right.
2012.
Yeah, it does make no sense.
Other than now, we know it does.
Hmm.
Predictive programming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, and you know, again, this is the exact style, the exact type of storytelling to induce a, let's call it a submission or an acceptance of an offer. And their offer is, hey, this is putting this in your mind that it's a capability. And, you know, we've all seen, you know, kind of, let's transition this. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. But with that whole video, right? And those that haven't seen, go check out. There's even more there, and there's the you know the recent one with the bull. That's another interesting one. So they do these grand, you know, plays, these grand ceremonies to open up the Olympics,
The world.
Exactly.
That
That's
was
what I
a
was gonna say.
world pandemic.
Yep. And so with that, right, we've seen that idea in movies, haven't we? Because think about it, everyone in their mind, you know, and I'm not saying those in the truth seeking community, but I'm saying those outside. I guarantee you, you know, like a zombie virus is a possibility, right? They've seen it in The Walking Dead. They've seen it in 28 Days Later. They've seen it in, you know, Dawn of the Dead. They've seen it in all these zombie movies where it's always a virus. It's always this, you know, and you know, I guess they have changed it up where they use cordyceps or they'll use various other things to create this zombie-like thing. But you know, what is that? I Am Legend with Will Smith, right?
Yeah.
We have
Right,
a cure for cancer
the
that turns.
disease. Yeah, it's weird how they even use the metaphors they do in that movie, like where the doctor explains how if you take a very bad man and put him in a car and he's driving at a high rate of speed, but then you switch out that bad man for a cop, the whole picture changes. But we see how it ends.
Uh-huh. Yep. And so this whole idea of this worldwide you know, pandemic that would wipe out all this population, we've seen it in so many different ways portrayed through the silver screen. And these are rituals, these are spells that are being cast, and as you watch them, you don't even know. This kind of actually makes me jump back to Vicky Joy, right? Where she's saying, hey, sometimes you can have dreams and accepted offers and made agreements that you don't even remember, that you can't even recall. And it's kind of the same thing where when you're watching a lot of movies, if not all of them, you are literally being a spell is being put upon you. A ritual has been taken place to make this movie that you would believe in this spell, and they do it in so many various ways. It's quite intense.
Yeah, your
It's such
subconscious
a
mind receives everything that you see, you hear,
Your
and
subconscious.
yeah, your subconscious mind receives everything. So and that's why the Bible says we got to guard our heart, for out of it the issues of life flow. So if we're not guarding our heart, guarding what we're watching, guarding what we're listening to, then that stuff enters in, and then now when it happens in reality, oh, we're like, oh yeah, this is supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, and not only like, and what's interesting is not only are people like would expect it, not expect it. Not only would people think it was possible, but almost as if it's just a matter of time until that thing happens. And of course, I'm Vader Bear, guys. I am a bear of Owen Benjamin, from the tribe of Benjamin. But and so the reason why I bring that up is because I have a very positive view of the future, and that positive view being that though they do these spells, and though they do genuinely be able to talk to the general public and get them to have these ideas, us talking about it, us bringing up these things to friends and family, and our neighbors of the world, these little seeds, uh, can be something that brings the scales off of, because if we all talked about it, right, there was, and I jokingly always bring up the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to talking about special guests and getting their that thing that brought them from a heliocentric view to a more biblical idea of creation. And so I use that proverbial, but we all had that proverbial topic that kind of got us into seeking truth, right? And so for some people, that is them waking up to the Hollywood rituals, for them to see these patterns that have been put in front of their face over and over and over, and how they come true, how they are predictive programming. Because I feel like once you see it that way, you can also then kind of go back and not only see where they did it in the past, but use that pattern to see how they're going to do it in the future.
Hey, Vader.
Yeah.
So I was watching the Marvel movie with Batman and Superman and Aquaman and Wonder Woman. I was watching the second one where they brought Superman back to life. Do you see that one?
Yep.
They're trying to tell us they're going to bring Nimrod back to life.
Dude, yeah.
What do you think of that? Huh? What do you think of that for a little subconscious programming, huh?
Yeah.
Bringing Nimrod back,
and
baby.
they brought him from out of the pit, right? They brought him
Yeah.
And then they brought him to like these like weird alien waters, right? And they did some type of ritual, some type of the cube of Saturn and the electrical, and they
I was thinking of you were talking about that.
Yeah, and I think Marvel and superheroes are a good place to kind of talk about real quick, because they put all of these things right in front of our face, right? These superpowers, these things, like they are, let's say within a benevolent world, right? That would be okay, right? Because people would be superheroes, but that's not the world we live in. That's a pretend world. The real world we live in, these are not new concepts. These things were called gods and sky peoples and various other titles given to them by the different cultures around the world. And these special abilities, these superhumans, these uber humans, above humans, are a mainstay part of every single culture all across the world. And these aren't new concepts, right? But they're bringing them back in a palatable, seemingly, friendly way, right? Where Captain America is
Yeah.
this biologically engineered man who's fighting for freedom. What freedom? Freedom from who? Freedom from what? And we see that all across the world, right? Transhumanism in Iron Man, right? Where he's literally putting tech in becoming part machine. So
yeah.
That man's alluded to be literally a demon. If you know the comics, so every single one of them is mimicked somewhere in a pantheon of gods in some culture.
Yeah.
That goes back to Babylon and before. Yeah, they're just repeated gods over and over again.
You know what? So
go ahead.
the woman said to Batman, Flash said to Batman, "What's your superpower?" He said, "I'm a billionaire." So all these billionaires think they're superheroes. They all think they're above everybody.
Well,
that's what I got from that.
Well, and it wouldn't even surprise me, right? Because think about archaeological digs where they're finding relics and artifacts. Who's paying for that? The super wealthy. Are they sharing that information? No, they're getting, technology and information and knowledge, and they're not sharing that. They paid, their cold hard cash that they stole or murdered for to get that. But in the recent Shazam movie, there's two of them. The second one, I believe, is called The Fury of the Gods, where it's Shazam literally is an acronym for all the different powers stolen by the different gods. So you got, I don't remember them all, but it's like Solomon, Hercules,
Thor,
Ares, Zeus. I don't remember them all. Athena. It's like they're all the gods' power, and they even tell you, right? These powers are powers that were stolen from the gods that we've now given to mortals.
Fire from heaven that they stole from the gods. The Prometheus, it's all repeated throughout each and every one of them have the same story.
Yeah, exactly. So let's that real quick, and we'll get into another link that was shared. Prometheus, the actual movie, the basically the prequels to the Alien series, literally tells you that you have these mighty men, right, that have spaceships and all this knowledge, right, that they actually gene crafted humans to be their slaves, a very Anunnakian, Sumerian belief style, right? And all they're doing, and I've said this before, is they told us that all that magic and gods, that was all fairy tale. Those were all metaphoric meanings to ideas, the hero's tale, etc. They stripped away the reality of existence, and they replaced it with a scientifical designed, excuse me, everything has to be able to be quantified and explained in a chemical, in a chemical fashion, right? So
a process of reactions,
right? But because all of that is hogwash, they slowly mixed in Kabbalism, Hinduism, these ideas back, and they're slowly morphing it back. And that's why, everyone hears me talk about Nimrod and him coming out of the pit during Revelation 9:11. In Revelation 9:11, the whole locust and things, and that whole idea of that event. And that's a lot to do with Hollywood rituals, right? Because I've seen so many of them show us these images, show us these ideas and these stories about this invading force of aliens. And now all of us obviously are coming from a standpoint that we see the biblical view of creation as opposed to the heliocentric model that we were all taught in school and presented with as fact. And and so to me it's such a prevalent idea, but there's so many of them out there constantly, of these different levels that they push, and I almost feel like the ones that people submit to or start accepting those offers to, that ends up becoming the next play. So I'll give you an example, and this is just an idea. Is The Walking Dead was a huge success. It was everywhere, right? As a trend. And then what's the next big kind of thing after that? We have the beer bug, right? So if, let's say, it wasn't The Walking Dead that was the new hit trend, let's say it was a, wartime thing, then people would be more likely or be able to metaphysically, connectively manifest these things into reality, right? Because if all of these people are accepting an offer, there's something to it. And I know I'm ranting a little bit, but I want to connect it to one thing. These Hollywood rituals that happen behind closed doors, and we'll get into that, don't they not mimic the old pantheon, the old gods, the old religions, the mythic, the mystery religions of old? And so their behaviors are the same, their gods that they're representing are the same, and the stories are often the same. And so we can see that they're using Hollywood as an institution to normalize and bring these ideas into the collective consciousness of everyone on earth. And to kind of close that idea, you brought up Harry Potter. Think about 20 years ago, maybe this is a bad recollection of time. Let's say 40 years ago, a movie about a good wizard wouldn't have sold. If you kind of feel where I'm if people wouldn't have accepted it, they would have outraged that, they would have said, no, this is evil, no one go. But they had to get society to a point where they would accept Harry Potter as this, pop culture thing, where they could easily look over the occult right in front of your face, the symbols right in front of your face, things that if they saw 40 years ago, they would have rebuked. And so, again, that throw the frog in the boiling water, it jumps out, put the water in there, and then turn up the heat, you're going to cook the frog eventually. So sweet. Let's get into, we were kind of talking about some of those rituals. So let me reshare my screen, and we're going to talk about, we're going to read a couple articles that Robert shared with us kind of about the dark side of some of this stuff. Boom. And then bring it over here. So we got this from Newsweek. It says, fact check. Did Mel Gibson say Hollywood elites drink children's blood? So it says, while Mel Gibson continues to be a controversial figure in Hollywood, he has hit the headlines in the past for making quote unquote racist, anti-Semitic, and sexist comments, unquote, and is also known for his a commitment to the Catholic faith. Actor and filmmaker Gibson, 67, sparked enduring backlash 17 years ago for his remarks, perhaps most famously one made to the police officer in 2006 that the J words are responsible for all the worlds in the world. While he has secured a number of the roles since then, including critically acclaimed ones leading to an Oscar nomination in 2016 film Hacksaw Ridge, he appeared to struggle to wipe the slate clean entirely. News in 2021 that he would direct an upcoming Lethal Weapon movie was met with lingering criticism. So let's kind of get into it. I'm going to skip some of this. Gibson also has a self-built church in Malibu, California called the Church of the Holy Family. It is not affiliated with the Roman Catholic Archdiocese. Perhaps in the light of his documented devotion to the faith, claims have recently been shared that Gibson once accused members of so-called Hollywood elite of torturing and murdering children before drinking their blood in satanic rituals. A post was shared on Twitter of March 2nd attributing quotes to Gibson that described the purported activities of an unnamed rich and powerful sect. Pedo would blacklist Mel Gibson for speaking truth about Hollywood's perverted satanic abominations. Read the tweet, viewed more than 5,600 times. So, to me, I'm not making judgment on the man, but this almost to me seems like a spell inside of a spell. So you have a person of Hollywood, a person of the Catholic faith. I'm not then saying anyone with the Catholic faith is hereby wrong or anything. But what my point is, let's make this big. What my kind of point is we have this guy talking about these events going on, which cool is interesting that it is if it's interesting, right, that he's bringing it into the public view. But at the same time, I wonder if that is in itself the spell that, we can trust Mel Gibson because he's telling the truth. Like, we all know that these things are happening, right? But then we have this major actor coming out and saying it. So let's listen to him. And, recently they had the what was that? The Sound of Freedom. And that movie about, child abduction and things going on in Colombia. Well, look into the guy who is being played by the main actor, and he has allegations of sexual abuse and
exactly
a whole bunch of weird stuff following.
He's gonna be going to court.
Yeah, following him, So I'm not above saying that even, let's say that was put upon him, that was crafted and made. Who knows? Again, I'm not judging the man's heart. I'm just saying they confuddle the situation. They murky the waters when it comes to these subjects where the topic, the trend ends at this article, right? It doesn't go further.
Here, it's happening thousands of miles away. You know what I mean?
And not only that, right? Because someone read this article and they hear the truth, well, then what do they do about it? Do they say, I feel like it kind of, they put this article, these types of things and articles out there for us to kind of then, we're done, right? We know about it. That means someone's going to take care of it, right? If how many people have faith in the system where they're like, well, if Mel Gibson's talking about it, the CIA, the FBI, the other, alphabetic agencies, they know about it. Surely they're going to stop it. But it doesn't get stopped. It keeps going. Any thoughts about this, peeps?
I like how you said the alphabetical agencies.
Yeah, you got Mel Gibson, of course. If it wasn't Mel Gibson, then the story wouldn't be out there. He wouldn't be producing, acting, or anything right now. But because he is who he is, and he's already, well established. Now it's like we have question of his character, of who he is. We question his story. Um, the movie Passion of the Christ. So he used, it was all in in Latin or because the church that he goes to, it's not just Catholic. It's they have to all speak in the a certain is it a certain type of Latin or is it Latin?
It's Latin? A form of Latin. I don't know specifically what kind.
It's supposed to be more of an ancient Latin, and so it discredits some of the validity of what he's saying.
Oh yeah, they do it literally in the first sentence. They say while Mel
Right.
Gibson continues to be a controversial figure in Hollywood, he has hit the headlines in the past for making racist, anti-Semitic, and sexist comments. So
Right.
says
So
Newsweek.
you don't have the main ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, whatever, and you don't have them interviewing, say, someone of more secure, known, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to come up with these stories and to make everyone say, "Oh, this stuff is real." So they can put these stories out like this, um, and so hey, we told you the story, we had put it out there, but you didn't believe us.
Yep. It was right in front of your face. How could you not see?
Hmm.
Yeah, and then
You
they mock
accepted the
it,
offer.
and then they mock it with what's his name? Edward Scissorhands. What's his name?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny
Johnny
Depp
Depp.
starts a band called the Hollywood Vampires. I mean, and then they're mocking it. You know, like, yeah, this ain't real. We're just mocking it, making a joke out of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's look at some more. What were we gonna say, Kyle?
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's interesting. Mel Gibson has slipped up a few times where he's obviously been angry with the people in control in Hollywood because they'll say he's saying anti-Semitic comments. Well, we know who those are really geared towards. We know who runs Hollywood and who established it. So it seems like he's frustrated with his bosses,
Yeah.
in my
And
opinion.
Yep.
they're handlers.
Yep. Indeed.
Exactly.
All right.
Mine
So,
too.
go ahead.
No, I just said mine too, Kyle.
Yeah.
This is another article that was shared. This is on Planet Today. Planet, right? A small plane. Exposed Hollywood elites adrenochrome rituals revealed on French TV media blackout. So we'll go ahead and read some of this article and then we'll talk about it. It says a man with close links to the political and entertainment industry elite dropped a series of truth bombs on French television this week, naming and shaming multiple celebrities for using adrenochrome as a part of depraved occult rituals to get high and stay young. Gerard Frere is well known in France due to his previous career as a drug dealer to the stars. Because there are a few secrets of the elite Frere does not know about. He's a regular guest on TV shows including Touche Pas et Mon Poste, the highly popular show that invited him on this week to discuss Pierre Palmade, a comedian who was involved in a scandalous car crash involving rent boys, enormous doses of drugs, uh, bad stuff material, and the death and the unaliving of a pregnant person's child. In other words, Palamade was involved in typical occult elite degeneracy. But the producers of the show got more than they bargained for when Fiera decided to reveal the truth about the degenerate rituals of far more famous names than just Pierre Palamade. Here is the moment Fiera mentions adrenochrome to the shock and the horror of the panelists. Another guest who seemed less outraged than the others stated that the adrenochrome conspiracy theory is rather plausible. She explained that the substance is extracted from little human's blood and is consumed by rich and powerful people to maintain youth, to remain youthful. Ferrier claimed the several celebrities consumed adrenochrome on a regular basis and named Celine Dion as a prime example. In recent months, Ferrier stated that Dion's mysterious degenerative illness was due to her abusive consumption of adrenochrome. When asked by the insidious guest when the sacrificed children come from, Fier answered that they're mainly kidnapped. He stated that over 5,800 small humans are kidnapped in France every year and that only 2/3 are found. Then he asked, where is the remaining third? Later, Fier stated that he testified in a case where a woman was looking to sell her daughter to an adrenochrome lab in Dijon. Seemingly on a roll, he added that yes, Saint Laurent and other people in the fashion industry were pedo criminals. When Fier mentioned the names of France's President Emmanuel Macron and his 69-year-old wife, Bigarette, the interview was suddenly cut short. One can only wonder what he was about to reveal. So we'll go ahead and end it there in the reading of it. But yeah, guys, this is something that they even show us. There's the what is that Clockwork Orange. This is a very big idea subliminally in the film, and it's crazy that people would want to do this because adrenochrome is created in your brain when you are when you're in fear of your life, when you're in the flight and flight response.
Yeah, well, Kubrick, the producer of Clockwork Orange, he also did Eyes Wide Shut, and then he mysteriously died. I think he was trying to really expose it, and he put it in there just to let people know. And and they probably allowed it because of their subliminal messaging and everything. But if you've seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise, that movie is wild.
Yeah, I think Eyes Wide Shut is a perfect example of kind of a mockery, right? Where they've showed us these things over and over again, right? Like how many movies, are there where it's almost a cliche that in that big rich mansion there are a whole bunch of people in black coats doing weird things, right? It's a cliche now. It's something that, everyone kind of has an idea about from the movies, right? So they show us, and then when they have a movie like Wise Eyed Shut, it's a mockery, right? They tell us straight up what they're doing. They sugarcoat it in a way to make it not as insidious or horrific, but nonetheless, they put it right in front of our faces. So yeah, absolutely, Frankie.
Yeah, them Purge movies were the same thing. If you watched any of them.
Yeah, and see, that's a good kind of idea. Is like the Purge, right? Like people watched that movie, but it wasn't a huge trend. It wasn't like The Walking Dead or like the Marvel movies, right? Where everybody was talking about it and getting shirts about it. So it wasn't something that was widely accepted in the general public. And so I wonder, don't you think that if it had become a trend that people could start maybe mockingly at first, be like, maybe we should have a purge, right? Where then it literally manifests into
Right.
our reality.
It's a spell.
Yeah.
It's a way. It's a way to, I guess, implant a thought in someone's head and then water it. Plant that seed and sit there and water it and direct their thoughts over time through little tiny subliminal things that they wouldn't even notice day to day, and you can guide someone's intent like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Beer Bug. They were actually using the sirens in a little town, I think it was in Florida, during the lockdowns. They were using the purge sirens to keep people in their house. It's so wild. That to me is really programming. Kyle, you can't be. Kyle, you're muted.
I can hear.
I'm muted.
No, I can't hear him.
Oh, I can hear
He
him.
was talking.
You might need to disconnect and reconnect, Frankie.
Yeah, he was talking. I
Oh, he
kind of
was?
cut him off. I didn't realize. Sorry, Kyle.
Oh, you're all good.
Oh, you know what? I was looking at the YouTube and you were talking.
I do that all the time.
Behind frame.
I do that all the time.
Oops, I did it again. I pulled a Marsha.
Hey,
We all do it.
hey, do that sound bite. How dare you?
How dare you?
Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
Awesome. All right, let's we got another article to read. Let's check it out. This one is from Rabbit Hole Conspiracy. It says unveiling the Hollywood devil worship and rituals. It says imagine a world where hidden behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood lies a dark underworld of devil worship and secret rituals. In this article, we will expose the shocking truth about the sinister practices and that reportedly take place behind closed doors. With mention of crimes against humanity, government conspiracies, and population control, this intriguing exploration delves into the possible connections between Hollywood, the Illuminati, and the manipulation of history. Get ready to have your mind open as we shed light on the alleged Hollywood devil worship and rituals that may lurk beneath the surface. Says Hollywood has long been an ineffectual force in shaping popular culture and entertainment around the world. With its glitz, glamour, and larger-than-life personalities, Hollywood has captivated audiences for decades. However, behind the scenes, there is a dark underbelly that has been subject on numerous conspiracy theories and allegations, devil worship, and secret satanic rituals. One of the ways that Hollywood wields its influence is by pushing the boundaries of what is considered acceptable in society. It's exactly what I was talking about when it comes to, when I was talking about Harry Potter. Again, 40 years ago, this would have been banned. This would have been boycotted. They would have never gone and showed up. They had to have the populace in a certain mindset. They had to accept certain offers for this offer to be presentable. It's kind of like you don't go up to a kid and say, hey, you want to try heroin? You want to try meth, right? You start them off with booze. You start them off with cigarettes, whatever you can to kind of chip away at that, the ethics, the morale of the people. And so great point here, whoever wrote this. It says through the promotion of controversial themes, including violence, explicit content, and occult imagery, Hollywood has been accused of desensitizing the masses to darker aspects of life. This sensationalism has raised concerns about the impacts that they have on social values and moralities. I think that's a really good point because, there's kind of an interesting dichotomy here where when people let's say in our type of mindset, when they see this occult symbols, even before we had the scales kind of fall off our eyes, it always made us creeped out. It always kind of, weird us out to see those type of things. And I wonder, because just like everything, we talked about the beer bug a little bit ago, but how they pushed that and we, seemingly there was no off ramp, but then all of the sudden there was an off ramp, and it wasn't something we were doing any longer. But the point being is how many people were awakened to how many people's scales fell off when this was their proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. And so I often wonder about this dichotomy of how many people they're waking up with overtly and subvertly showing these things, if that makes sense, right? Because some people are going to wake up from it, whereas some people are going to be like, I want to do magic, I want to do these things. Y'all kind of get what I'm saying. I think that's an interesting thought.
I mean, that happened with the pandemic. I think it woke a lot of people up.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they.
All right, let's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, inadvertently.
Yeah.
Robert and are the people they want to get rid of. They want to get rid of our age. They really do. Maybe even your age.
Hey, Marcia, you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Inadvertently is the secret word. You win a prize. Remember that?
So it says celebrities have become modern day idols, with their every move scrutinized and emulated by millions. The influence they hold over the fans cannot be understated. Many celebrities openly embrace occult symbols and themes in their work, further fueling speculation about their involvement in devil worship. This adoration and idolization of these celebrity influences only serve to perpetuate the allure of such practices. Yeah, it kind of makes me think about how back in the day, right, like there was, Knights in Satan Surface, right? You had all the moms up in arms about Kiss and how that their music was satanic and, was satanic, right? And so, but back then, right, they didn't overtly have a pentagram or overtly have these symbols or openly talk about doing these practices, right? These occult practices. But if you look at the pop cultural people today, example, Lady Gaga, as an example, they up in your face show you these symbols and what they're all about and talk about it and sing about it on such a different level, right? And so how they can slowly cook those frogs, their fans, alive, and they not even know it.
Yep.
Do you think things are speeding up? To me, from when I was a kid to when I woke up, it seemed like I look back at the things but what's going on now is such a short period of time of overt. I mean, I think they're ramping up the overtness.
I think I don't know. I personally think yes and no. I think that they're being open about it, but I think that they have a louder voice than they actually have. I think way more people reject it still, but because of the control that they have over the entertainment and media industries, I think that they can make it seem way more relevant, way more accepted than it actually is, personally.
I agree. You're right. Just like the LBTQ
Yeah.
XYZ, there's not really that many, but yeah.
Yeah, but they sure are loud. So
They
it says
are loud.
secret societies and forbidden practices, history of the occult in Hollywood. The occult has long and storied history in Hollywood, with various secret societies and forbidden practices intertwined with the industry's development. From early spiritualist movements of the rise of Theosophy and Aleister Crowley's influence in the early 20th century, Hollywood has been drawn to the mysterious and eccentric. This historical context sets the stage for alleged devil worship practices that have become a pervasive part of the industry's lore. Yeah, Aleister Crowley was a homie in Hollywood. He went to a place where everybody knew his name, right? He was a top dog in those areas in New York, on the West Coast and East Coast. And this guy was straight up said that he was the beast 666, the son of perdition. He claimed these things, and to me, Aleister Crowley is a special boy who wants to be the most specialist boy. But unfortunately for him, or fortunately, he's not, and so. But the fact that he was a loved personality within the circles should be more than indicating.
Hey, I put a picture up in the table members. It's the album cover for Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies. When you get it after this article, show that it really has a lot of symbolism on the amount of money that Hollywood, the music industry, they're making off of these babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if there's tons more about this article, just search "Unveiling the Hollywood Devil Worship and Rituals." It's on Rabbit Hole Conspiracies. We're not going to spend all our time there, but definitely go check it out. To do that, bro, I need to have already pulled it up because it's gonna mess up multiple of my screens. I'll try to get it a little bit here in a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't think of it until just now.
Yeah, no worries. All right, we got this is the last one that Robert shared, and this is kind of along the same line. So let's go ahead and read this a little bit. It says the title of this is Angelina Jolie exposes Hollywood Illuminati rituals in leaked videos. It says a stunning video has surfaced in which a 23-year-old Angelina Jolie reveals the true inner workings of Hollywood as she describes her experience participating in secret Illuminati rituals to close friends. In 1999, an anonymous source secretly filmed Angelina Jolie, then age 23. How many times are they going to say 23? Speaking to two close friends about the Illuminati initiation rituals she had recently taken part of while attempting to establish herself in Hollywood. Angelina describes in detail the gruesome ritual celebrities must go through to join the Order of the Illuminati. During the Illuminati ritual, you are tied up, assaulted, and hurt continuously by other members. She compares the secret society rituals to S&M, but claims there are differences. At times, Angelina looks crazed and possessed while describing to her friends the experience she had with the Illuminati Masonic Secret Society. She explains that she killed a snake as a sacrifice and was tattooed as a part of the initiation ritual. It is well known that many Illuminati members get tattoos as a part of the ceremony as a way of sacrificing more blood to Saturn. Ooh, Saturn. Where have we heard that before? My snake I tried. I had to kill him, Jolie said. It has long been claimed that Hollywood stars and other celebrities need to join the Luciferian Secret Society in order to establish their career in their cutthroat business and make it to the top. In the Secrets filmed Secrets filmed video, Angelina can be heard telling her friends that she has encouraged other celebrities to go through the initiation and join the Illuminati. The tape also reveals that Jolie showed a recording of Illuminati ritual to one of her friends. Her friend, speaking in halting tones, describing viewing the footage, saying, I only saw that film that Angelina brought over that night. People who are like darker. It's great to be able to see everyone's thing, but it's weird when you just. I have the most amazing, compromising pictures of people. Interesting. Let's check this out real quick. Grab this and just bring up that link and see if it works for us. Link to YouTube. I bet this video has probably been removed. Interesting. It's not actually going anywhere. It's just taking me to YouTube. Is it loading? I think it's loading still. But yeah, I haven't seen this video. I'm interested in checking it out. But you know, I think we all have kind of probably delved into, you know, maybe they get into, you know, the sacrifice, right? We've seen a lot of celebrities. Yeah, look, this video is no longer available because the YouTube account associated with it has been terminated. So they don't even want us to, YouTube doesn't even want us to see that video. How dare you?
Was that in the link of the article?
That was in the article, yeah.
That
Yeah,
should
okay.
How dare you? There you go. How dare you?
Sweet. All right, let's keep trucking. So we got this. This is shared from Kyle. It says Jewish mysticism in Hollywood. It's a 7-minute and 23 second video. Is there any particular part you want to share, or was it kind of the whole thing, or what?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much we were going to spend on it. It was kind of the whole thing. So if you wanted to get past any of those videos that are kind of lengthy like that, you're welcome to.
No, it's okay. Let's take I'm gonna use this opportunity to use the restroom.
What?
So
There's also markers in the video too.
Oh.
You hear the word Kabbalah. Maybe
let's see if it'll load.
Jewish.
Give it a second.
Maybe mysticism.
I'm pretty sure I paused it and it's not pausing. Okay, let's let it load a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Take that off. See what these settings are. See, it's 240p right now, and it's loading like that. That's insane.
Oh, that's terrible. 240. Ah.
Let's make sure this volume is up. It's a little low. Let's see.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear the word Kabbalah? Maybe Jewish, maybe mysticism, maybe Madonna? Kabbalah is a compilation of written works that explain the ancient
louder, please.
secretive beliefs of Jewish mysticism. The name coming from the Hebrew word meaning to receive. Traditional Kabbalists have gone on to become
Panel members, you have to select the stream to hear it. You got to be in the stream on Discord to hear it.
some of Judaism's greatest sages, and also notorious heretics and pariahs. Its contents have been debated, scrutinized, and studied for centuries. But rabbis have long feared misinterpretation and weaponization of the Kabbalah, and for centuries restricted Kabbalah study to a small number of men deemed worthy. But in recent years, Kabbalah went mainstream. Jews and non-Jews, including some A-list celebrities, swear by it. There are now countless introductory books, including a Kabbalah for Dummies, and establishments teaching Kabbalah are in major cities on practically every continent. So how did the ancient secretive study of Jewish mysticism emerge from the shadows? Jews have often been called the people of the book meaning the Torah, or 5 books of Moses. Like other Jewish texts, such as the Talmud, Kabbalah seeks to provide a deeper explanation of the Torah. While the Talmud delves more into Jewish law, legislation, and moral stories, Kabbalah emphasizes spirituality and mysticism, a deeper way of understanding the words of the Torah and the creative forces at work behind consciousness and the physical world. Many devout believers trace its origins back to the receiving of the Torah at Mount Sinai over 3,500 years ago. They maintain that before Kabbalah was written down, it was a purely oral tradition maintained by Jewish mystics and sages for centuries. Kabbalists have often been some of the most respected members of their communities, rabbis, judges, and teachers. Moses de Leon, for example, was a renowned late 12th century rabbi in Spain, a hub of early Kabbalah study. Kabbalah and its lore captivated de Leon, and he immersed himself in the Kabbalist community. In the early 13th century, De Leon revealed to the world the most expansive Kabbalah text ever discovered, the Zohar. De Leon claimed that Shimon Bar Yochai, a 2nd century sage in ancient Judea and one of the most highly revered Kabbalists ever, was its author. However, most academics agree that De Leon penned the Zohar. The Zohar was a big deal. Before the Zohar, Kabbalah was secretive and mostly limited to select scholars. With so much in writing, Kabbalah was no longer exclusive. It was the first time Kabbalist thought became available to a wide audience. The Zohar saw wide distribution in 1558 with its first print edition. By the 18th and 19th centuries, more and more Kabbalistic writings were published and studied. Kabbalah gained a wider audience, and its appeal grew from merely esoteric study. With increased exposure came scrutiny and controversy. While of interest to mainstream Torah scholars for all of Jewish history, Kabbalah's secrecy and mysticism made it alluring to fanatics. Renaissance Europe even became home to a Kabbalist trend among fanatical non-Jews. And there were Jewish fanatics too. One of them was Shabtai Tzvi, a 17th century self-proclaimed Jewish messiah in the Ottoman Empire who gained a large following for his Kabbalistic teachings. There are disputed historical accounts about his influence. Some suggest his devout followers perpetrated violence, proselytizing across the Middle East and European cities like Venice and Amsterdam. Other accounts suggest non-violent tactics. In some places, his delegations obtained declarations signed by leaders of the Jewish community, acknowledging Tzvi as the Messiah and King of Israel. But despite having some credible rabbinic followers, Tzvi was overwhelmingly rejected by Jewish leaders. In 1666, Tzvi was imprisoned by the Ottoman Empire. He was brought before the Sultan and charged with fomenting sedition. He was given a choice: convert to Islam or die. He converted. This period in the 17th century coincided with the first generation of Jews to emerge from rural life, seeking to join the metropolitan world, especially in Europe. Being associated with cults, false messiahs, and secret mystics,
Yeah.
Can you guys hear Vader? I can't hear him.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry.
can't hear
I said, hey, let's all take a second to look at the guy who became a fool.
Yeah,
Hey, look, he's saying,
interesting.
look, this is right where we are. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, that's what it looks like too.
Well, that brings up a thought that I had. I think the real reason they came up with the globe theory is to hide the free energy in this realm because of all the electromagnetic technology. You could actually run an antenna up your house and actually harness the electricity and make your own electricity.
Yeah.
If you knew that there was a electromagnetic field coming from the North Pole, you know what I mean?
There's a guy named Christopher Gardner. He's often on Big Bear stream over on unauthorizedtv.com. But anyways, he literally makes like Earth ships with that in mind, so that he is harvesting energy just out of the air and using the actual Earth that he's using to create the structures to be the batteries to hold that energy. It's actually really, really interesting, the stuff he talks about. But yeah, I would somewhat agree with you that is a part of it. I think also they did it to, for me, it comes to Revelation 9 and the alien invasion. You can't, if everyone knows that we are in an enclosed terrarium, they're not going to believe that these are beings from outside this earth, right? If it's enclosed, if it's open to space, right? At any point, can aliens find us and say hello?
It's interesting in the Zohar, the Kabbalistic text. It talks about the earth being like a ball and rolling around, and it describes uh, I forgot what they're called, but basically what they call the planets, but there's a name for them, Ein Sof or something. There's names for each of them, and they're levels of ascension, and they're described as ethereal realms that you get to a point, and then you stop, and you have to be initiated into the next ether, and there's like 33 ethers. It's really weird.
They kind of show it
Didn't
right here.
Stellar come out? Wasn't there a movie, The Zohar?
Right here, you kind of see those levels.
Yes, right here.
And
the
this
tree of life symbol.
Yep. And you even see the pentagram is right there, front and center.
Yep.
And what's interesting about this, right, is people, I've seen people kind of talk about that the Ring of Solomon, what he used to control the unclean spirits, was actually a pentagram. It's often even in the Wiccan witches, kind of world. They use it as a symbol of a protection. They don't think that it's an evil an evil symbol. They think it's a symbol of protection. And I often wonder how much of this stuff is actually true, but twisted in a way where it brings pride, right? But
Sure.
obviously there are elements of these things that are true.
Yeah, and a lot of it is based on, sacred geometry and the Fibonacci sequence, and that's supposedly what this symbol contains, is every sacred geometric shape, all the way up to the lotus flower. Apparently that contains it as well, but this is like the center of the lotus flower, supposedly.
Yep. All right, let's continue this. We're halfway there. Let's see, did that? No, I'm gonna have to go hit play over here.
False messiahs and secret mysticism was embarrassing for Jews trying to assimilate. Kabbalah was largely swept under the rug, and it stayed there for a long time. In the early 19th century, Jewish scholars in Germany coined the term mainstream Judaism and intentionally left Kabbalah out. Still, some scholars associated with the Haskalah movement continued to study Kabbalah. The result was widespread consternation with accusations such as false doctrine, un-Jewish, and springing from error. Prominent academics labeled De Leon, the presumed author of the Zohar, selfish and a pious impostor. Kabbalah was roundly rejected and reviled in academic circles until the 20th century, when a man named Gershom Scholem made Jewish mysticism his life's work. Born in Berlin in 1897 to a largely assimilated family, Scholem became fascinated with the study of Jewish mysticism. After writing his doctoral dissertation at the University of Munich on the early Kabbalistic texts, he emigrated to Jerusalem to join the faculty at Hebrew University. His work there involved studying Kabbalah, uncovering new manuscripts and writers, and translating Kabbalistic works. He also published his own research, including The Mystical Messiah on Shabtai Tzvi. Ultimately, by providing historical perspective, Scholem restored Kabbalah's reputation in the arena of Jewish studies and scholarship. While Scholem was changing the minds of academics, two world events changed society forever: the Holocaust and the atom bomb. Never before had the world seen millions of lives lost with such scientific precision. Scholars believe that these events caused many Westerners to look for deeper truths with a renewed openness for ancient spiritual teachings once thought too esoteric. Tibetan Buddhism, Indian mysticism, and Sufism, to name a few. And
Right
Kabbalah.
there. They tell
These
you
ancient
right
teachings
there,
were
guys.
repackaged for a modern, secular audience.
Repackaged for
Kabbalah,
a
it was
modern
Rabbi
secular
Philip Berg who took care of
audience.
that. In the 1970s, Rabbi Philip
Okay, I'm gonna let it
Berg
buffer a
and his
little
wife-
bit because it's going crazy. But they literally said it right there. Repackaged for a modern. What was the word? I'm sorry. Audience, right?
Modern audience, yeah.
Yeah, and right with it's kind of interesting knowing what we know about the truth of the earth, right? At least what it's not is we know that kind of idea is actually only 100 years old, right? Where it's been believed by the mass population. We know, like,
Right,
looking
yeah.
back, that most people were taught, most people saw, most people believed in the truth of creation as opposed to what we've been given scientifically, right?
Right.
We were scientifically given the burnt offering, right, in history. We were scientifically given the atom bomb, and we were scientifically given the heliocentric model and the Kabbalah, right? So scientifically, we've been given a lot of horse poop.
Exactly. Yeah, just like the little nuclear bomb comment, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yep. What are you gonna say, Frankie?
Scientifically, we were given a bunch of horse manure.
Yep. Exactly.
Correct.
All right, let's finish this out. Oh, I don't think it's there yet. Might be in need of a computer upgrade. I bet if I shut my camera off, it's gonna
Karen
work better.
started teaching Kabbalah out of their Jerusalem living room. Soon, they brought their teachings to Queens, New York, and opened numerous Kabbalah centers in the States. In 1995, Jewish-American comedian and actress Sandra Bernhard, best known for her role in the 90s sitcom Roseanne, began studying at a Kabbalah center in Los Angeles. At the same time, Kabbalah study underwent a revival in Jewish institutions in Israel and in the United
Maybe
States,
all of us.
particularly in Orthodox communities. In Hollywood, Kabbalah study sessions were in. Bernhard's famous co-star, Roseanne Barr, as well as Mick Jagger, Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Ariana Grande, and Madonna all dabbled in Kabbalah study. Celebrities across Hollywood were spotted wearing the popular red string amulet. Madonna's countless trips to Israel only further cemented Kabbalah's place in the mainstream. In 2003, she even shelled out $5 million to help open a Kabbalah center in London. Yet, Kabbalah today is still divisive. To many, the Bergs were inspirational people with altruistic motives hoping to spread the joy and fulfillment Kabbalah gave them. To others, they were exploiting
Oh my
a sacred
God.
ancient tradition for personal financial gain and the opportunity to rub elbows with celebrities. Traditional Kabbalists argue that Kabbalah divorced from Torah study isn't Kabbalah at all.
Isn't this called the humping wall?
But no, it's not the bowing wall, but something
No,
like that.
it's the humping wall. They all go there and they
Is it?
hump it. No,
Yeah.
it's
they
actually
do.
it's
Oh.
actually called
The wailing
it's called the
wall.
Wailing wall.
But
Wailing
they
wall,
all
that's
hump
right.
it. But they all hump
like
it.
Humpback whale. Humpback wailing wall.
Can you read
Humpback
their-
wailing wall.
Yeah. it's the humping wall humped for the very first time.
Oh no.
Kind of adding some Madonna in there, and right, like, look at Madonna. We've seen the Super Bowl performance when she was straight up in the the evil outfit, right? So,
Yep.
and she's practicing Cabal. She spent millions of dollars of her own hard-earned money to open up a center. We see her reading little books to children. I want to bring something up really quick. Speaking about Hollywood, there's a lot of movies out there about witches, right? Various fashions, different tales, different powers, different thresholds, within the story itself. But something that's always really interested me, that's this, let's call it a cliche, a stereotype, is that witches are always really ugly, but they hurt little children in various ways through the different mediums, and they somehow obtain beauty from hurting innocent people. Right? Yep. And so we have this, person, Madonna, right? Why does she still look as young as she does in the age she does, right? Why, we got Sandra Bullock, straight telling us that the reason why she looks so young is because she injected blood after with the foreskin of children that were circumcised. Injecting that blood. So these are witches. These are rituals, and we're given it in the Hollywood silver screen, and we are literally shown what they do, but they glam it all up, right? They have the sparks and the whirlies and the CGI, into which it looks cool. It looks entertaining, and yet they're doing these same dark rituals, but without the pizzazz, just the horrendous grotesqueness of it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right, let's see him hump some wall real quick.
We don't have a sound effect for that.
Thank goodness.
Say,
it's
how
not
dare
a vessel
you?
of life's
Thank
deepest
goodness.
truths,
See, get it.
but a
Get that
lens
wall.
through which to observe
Get that wall.
and
How dare
comprehend
you?
the Torah, the primary text of the Jewish faith. But Kabbalah is only getting bigger. Scholars learn Kabbalah everywhere in the world of Torah study, and universities and various places of Jewish learning.
So,
Kabbalah classes.
to end talking about that one real quick, it's really interesting, with what it was saying, that the Torah is the main text of the Jewish faith. Maybe back in the wilderness, maybe in the time of Joshua, but surely ain't right now.
No. And it only is for the Kabbalists, because they don't sit there and pick over the Talmudic text with a fine-tooth comb, looking at every esoteric combination of words and the letters within the words and their meanings, and the gematria and everything like that. They don't do that with the Talmud. They only do that with the Torah.
Yeah.
They try to find the fingerprint of God, so to speak, inside the words themselves. And from time to time they may find patterns and whatnot, but it's the philosophical conclusions that they come to on those esoteric beliefs that they gain.
And it's not even necessarily the ones they come to, it's the ones that they're working toward, right? Like, they already have the idea, and then they're grabbing section by section to prove that idea. And obviously there's some truth in it, right? Something that that I think is interesting, and I'm gonna pull that book up. We're not gonna really read through it, guys. We're gonna just shiftly go through it. I will say, and Kyle gave this kind of disclaimer to me. is this isn't something you want to take lightheartedly. You don't want to start researching this thing and listening to it. Uh, but what really stuck out me right here is Solomon. Now,
Oh,
all throughout the occult religions, this man is referred to in multiple religions as an important person within their occult beliefs. And um, and so that name comes up quite often in a lot of these things. Uh, but anyways, just looking real quick. I don't know if you noticed this, but this is in Provo. This is about 45, about an hour and a half away from me. I could
oh,
go.
really?
I could like go rent this book if I wanted to. By the way, Brigham Young and Joseph Smith are who created the Mormon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and this is at their university. They're
BYU.
they're more BYU. They're Mormon University. So
Well,
it
hello.
says this is called the Lesser Key of Solomon Giata. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Gosha.
Gosha. The Book of the Evil Spirits contains 200 diagrams and seals for invocation and convocation of spirits, necromancy, witchcraft, and black art. So this is translated from ancient manuscripts in the British Museum, London. So where did this come from? And something that I pointed out, and he was like, "Yeah, I wanted, I thought it was interesting too." Is if you look, this is all Hebrew. They are using the Hebrew language for their scrolls. Here's the the endless serpent.
They have to put the tetragrammaton in every single enchantment, pretty much, it seems.
Yep. And so, these are symbols that are not good things. These are people crafting things and making things. These are graven images, guys.
Yeah.
To make these, to write these seals, these are graven images. People are getting into it. So I'm not going to go through the whole book. And we kind of talked about Aleister Crowley before. Oh my god, I haven't been showing it this whole time. I am such a noob. I'm gonna go back up, guys, and share this with you since y'all didn't get to see. Yeah, we did it again. Okay, let me just go back up to the top. Click this. It's weird the way I have to do it in Discord, but this is the best for everyone else. So I apologize when y'all see that screen and not what we're showing. Okay, so here is the Lesser Key of Solomon. The Book of Evil Spirits has a whole bunch of symbols in it. Only authorized edition, exant, publisher under the editorship of WLWD Lawrence. That member of the Eastern Order of the Sacred Mysteries. Guys, member of the Eastern Order of Sacred Mysteries. Oh my Lanta. Interesting. So yeah, here's some symbols, and if you see again, the on this serpent is just full of Hebrew letters. And of course, we got this. Create. Go live. Pulling it up.
Knee back at you. Since I'm not in the chat, but I can see it, Robert.
All
Knee.
right, I think they're good now. It's probably way choppy right now for y'all. What is YouTube doing? Oh my Lanta. It's not doing it on.
Oh my.
Is that how these are gonna go?
We're so pixelated.
Get back, baby. They're on to us.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I guess that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Wow.
Let's play this one real quick. Reshare my
That
screen.
really is.
Corey Feldman one.
Okay, this is a short 1 minute and 33. 133 hint. Let's see.
Remember where before you play that?
What?
I said before you play that. Remember where you said the adrenochrome comes from?
Uh-huh.
It'll be kind of important when he talks about this.
All right. Let's check it out.
About alchemical sexual alchemy.
Sexual alchemy.
Yeah.
I know alchemy.
Talking about tantra.
I made a lot of money on alchemy in the
Do you
early
know that
70s.
the story of Jesus, how it's been altered in certain ways? I mean, yes, there was a guy. Yes, there was teachings, all that stuff. But there's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Substance that comes from your medulla, which is basically completely looks like the Ark of the Covenant. Has angel's wings around it, the whole thing. This substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your
Okay, I'm going to pause it and remove my video and see if that affects it.
sacrum, which is
Quick, get a dictionary.
Christ coming down into human form.
Yeah.
And if you don't
can't tell
squander
if it's
that
the
essence,
video
that
or the
sexual
playback.
essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney. It's all very
Okay,
freaky
this
shit.
guy's passing.
What?
Oh, I was just talking over him when he dropped the S-bomb.
oh,
I apologize for any weak words, guys. These are not our words. These are their words. This is
I
the world.
didn't bleep it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't edit the video.
Yeah, and did I played that part, right? Or is there still more?
No, you already played it.
Okay. Yeah. He straight up tells you, right? Alchemical sexual alchemy, right? They're doing these rituals for very specific reasons. Okay, I'm gonna play Frankie's since he said it. This is 3 minutes and 26 seconds. This is on Access Hollywood. Corey Feldman claims Hollywood.
There's protections for animals, on filming. I think there need to be protections legally put in place to protect people when they're filming, human beings.
Jennifer Lawrence now hopes that legislation will be enacted in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Weinstein's decades-long chain of alleged harassment was a dirty Hollywood secret. As far as we know, though, all of Weinstein's accusers were of legal age when the alleged incidents occurred.
But there is Hollywood's other dirty secret that victimizes the most vulnerable, children. And someone who's spoken out about this and is painfully aware is former child star Corey Feldman.
You freeze. You're in shock. I mean, children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff. I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them.
For years now, as evidenced on Nightline in 2011, Corey Feldman has been claiming that he and his good friend, the late Corey Haim, were victims of molestation when they were young actors. Last year, he opened up to our Alex Hudgens.
Kids are scared. Kids don't think I'm going to go. First of all...
So I just want to pause it to break it up a little bit, but it's really, I don't know, guys. I have such a mixed feeling about this. I'm going to pull up my camera again. I have such a mixed feeling about this because it's like, okay, this guy is telling the truth, but he's doing it through Access Hollywood. Right? So do they not know that he's going to talk about this? Is this like him just coming there? He's going to talk about his band, but when he actually gets there, he starts talking about this, and they're like, well, we have the footage, we might as well put it out. It's like, I don't understand why, like, I think from his heart, he's probably maybe doing the right thing, like I can't actually know that. But what I'm saying is, like, they're allowing him to let this be known. You got to question that too.
Yeah, question.
Yeah, well, they ridiculed him and they put him down, and they literally did kill his friend. So.
Oh yeah.
No, I totally agree, right? But they're still letting him talk about it.
Right.
So I'm not.
Yeah, I think
I'm not talking about the guy. I'm not talking about Corey. I'm talking about the story being out in the first place. What were you going to say, Kyle?
I think they are capable of casting a spell on the masses, whether or not something that they don't want to necessarily be exposed, because, give it some time and they can make things like pedophilia a completely normal, everyday thing. But it can start with introducing it as it's everywhere in Hollywood. All the celebrities are doing it. Well, if all the celebrities are doing it and everyone has an idol that they pretty much worship, that's a celebrity. I mean, I put the two together. It would make sense in today's society, if pedophilia has increased at this rate and it's being normalized, that there was a cause for that. And I'd say perhaps things like this are the cause for that. They want it to be out.
Yeah, I can totally see that. All right, let's see what else is on here.
They want it out, but they're actually putting it in a bad light. Pedophilia.
Was doing it to me.
Everybody's still against it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could say that the two people that did it to me were both close friends of mine, or so I thought.
Feldman claims Haim endured more than him. In his book Choreography, he alleges that Haim was raped on the set of the 1986 film Lucas. The following year, 1987, their film The Lost Boys came out.
It was when we were both on the set of Lost
about
Boys
vampires.
Things were happening to both of us,
drinking blood.
Set. Might I clear that up? But outside.
Well, that whole True Blood series on HBO was about the same thing.
And they just weren't doing anything about it.
I mean, I know he told a lot of people. That's the thing that's so upsetting to me. It's not like it's just me that knows this story.
Other people know.
A lot of people know.
They're still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
Back in 2013, on The View, Feldman was insistent that perpetrators are still out there.
See, why doesn't he say their name? Why?
Statute of limitation laws in
So because they won't get charged, he won't say anything?
You don't want to die.
No, I get it, but it's like he doesn't want to die, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like if you have the ability to name names and you don't because you fear death, it's like you don't care about truth then. You care more about living than you care about truth.
I just don't.
I'm not judging the man. I'm just saying, like, to me, if you know the names and they're walking around and they're rich, powerful people, why do you think they stopped with you? You're allowing
I don't think they really care. I don't think they care if the truth comes out, because I don't think they're gonna. They know the masses won't believe it. We're a small community.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the world, you know what I mean?
That actually came out quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he's been doing this for years. He's been screaming this.
Yeah.
And he's making money off it too, though, selling a book.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Let's jump back here. This is 15 minutes. We don't got time for this one, but I'm gonna grab this. I'll do that right at the end. Yeah, I'll do that right at the end. Yeah, I'll do that right at the end. So what's this one, Kyle? The Enochian Workbook, A Complete Guide to Magic. Give us a kind of a rundown as I scroll through this.
So I kind of stumbled across this book, and it's essentially like an occultist workbook, literally, where You're given, a list of incantations that you need to do, and it kind of it's almost like a test at the end of each one, and it's yeah, yeah, viewer discretion advised with this one as well. But it had some more interesting things that were listed there. I have them highlighted.
All right, I'll
as,
scroll.
as you scroll.
I'll scroll down right here. Used by the Golden Dawn and Aleister Crowley. All right, so about how far are they down? Just so I know how fast to
It's
scroll.
it's like the 12th page, I think.
Okay.
Like that 12th page on the PDF, or the third actual page.
Gotcha. Loading. Bear with us.
Well, I'm not going to read that book. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not. Absolutely don't.
Am I close?
I thought so,
Is
but
that
I'm
is that
wondering
all
if
highlighted? I can't tell.
yeah, I couldn't see the highlighting either. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. If you already scrolled to the bottom and didn't see it, huh? Might have to go to another one.
You have to use a pink highlighter.
I would say go to the other one I have. It's shorter. The 7 hermetic principles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. All right, let's go through this real quick. So, let's read a little bit of this, and then we'll kind of skim through the principle. So it says, finding its root in religious, philosophical, and esoteric tradition, based primarily upon the writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes the Thrice Great. Hermeticism was considered of great importance during the Renaissance and the Reformation. Hermes may be associated with the ancient Egyptian god Thoth or the Greek god Hermes, and is said to be the creator of the sacred corpus Hermeticum. This is a series of dialogues and texts which serve as the basis for Hermeticism. Themes that are prominent throughout these texts are that the cosmos, the divine, mind, and nature. The underlying laws of the universe and nature are ever present and omnipotent. In the age where self help and personal development techniques are on every bookshelf and the tip of everyone's tongue, we need not look past the 2,000-year-old teachings of the 7 hermeneutic principles to gather a deeper semblance of truth. And that's I think they kind of self-revealed there in a age where self-help and personal development techniques, right? Self-help, personal development. Mm-hmm. It's all about the I.
Yep. Me.
Yep. So the principle of mentalism. The universe is mental, held in the mind of all. The Kabbalion. So I'm not going to read through all of this. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, as without, so within, the Kabbalion, right? So we got some right there. We got the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. We got the principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has pole
types. Yeah, I never thought of that. That's you're right about that.
They have to find specific blood types for each individual that's doing it. Are they saying it's off again?
I think that's why they're harvesting so many kids, because they have to find the right blood type.
Is it off?
Yeah, at least on Circle of the Earth. Apparently on Take on the World, it's running fine.
All right, I think we're back up on.
Yeah, I think it's back up. Buffering.
Gosh.
I'm moving.
Of course. All right, I think we're back. Yeah. Okay, it's matched up now. Okay. But yeah, I just had that thought where it's like, wow, they really have to pick the blood. like each
Probably why they're harvesting so many children, because they have to find the right blood type.
Yeah, that's
which makes you wonder when you have a kid and they get their, you have the child at the hospital where that information goes.
So I'm not gonna play this out of quite a bit of pretty deep. Look, and by the way, you have the I don't know if y'all can see this, but all the planets in the background. Interesting. Look, there's 10. I guess they're including the moon. Whoa.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh.
I can't read all this.
They're including the Earth.
And
the globe Earth. Yeah. Oh, maybe.
I'm gonna see.
Look at Curious George in the Martian suit. I mean the space suit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right there, Curious George in a space suit.
Yeah.
Mercury, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Uranus, Neptune, Mars.
It's one of the Imperial ships, right?
What does that say back there?
Pluto, probably.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it is Mercury. No, Mercury's right there. Let me make it bigger. Hopefully.
It's the smallest planet, Mercury, right?
No, look. It says meteor.
Oh, meteor.
Okay.
Well, an Imperial starship right above Curious George.
Yeah.
Meteor.
Oh, look, she's got a Q thing on and a flag. Look at that.
Says.
Oh, look. And a flag.
Look at the firmament.
Oh, look at the dome. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And they got a lot of symbolism there.
Got Q.
QAnon. Oh my God.
Yeah, Q and the American flag.
Oh wow.
She's a patriot and she's a conspiracy theorist.
All right, let's. I'm gonna take this back down to auto. It's not gonna play like this.
I didn't see all that when I grabbed it.
Auto. You know what? I had a lot of imagery. I won't play that anymore, but go check that out if y'all are interested. All right, guys. I'm gonna. Let's go ahead and. Oh, it's trying to play. All right, let's end that. Good one. We want to make this big. All right, sweet. All right, guys, let's. We're having so much technical difficulties. We keep spiraling, so I don't even think we're live currently anywhere. So let's just each wave all goodbye at the same time. Goodbye, everyone.
We're live on YouTube or something. Something playing.
Shalom, everyone. Sorry about the tech issues. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, no, we're live on YouTube. I got it up. We're live on YouTube.
Okay, it's showing me spinning.
Well,
yeah, we're live. I got it. We're all waiting.
Right, well, I will. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Until next time, remember that Abba loved you first. Next week, we're going to be talking about NASA, another Hollywood ritual. So definitely join us for that. And again, until next time, everybody, remember that Abba loved you first. Good night, everyone.
Nice.
Twirls? Is it twirling?
It's your glory. Conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter. You raise up a standard. Beat back our trend.